All right.
So listen, before we get into this, I just want to know, how are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good, Pete.
I mean, because I'm sitting here like it's the summer.
Mm-hmm.
6 months ago, you made a decision that
Mm-hmm.
not only affected your life, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people's lives, right? And so you made that decision to retire. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So 6 months ago, from now, thinking about what's taking place now, did you think you'd be an author by now, or had you been working on this? Like, what's your life been like the last 6 months? Let's just talk about that.
So I'll say the book comes from this honest God truth. I was home in January with not a lot to do, and I think I was getting on my wife's nerves, honestly. And she said, like, "Hey, you doing this? You doing this? Like, you had like 3 books you started. You finished the book." And so I thought, I'm gonna finish the book.
Gotcha.
And so that's kind of how that story started. So in January, I was just trying to find my way. And
So what's been the most interesting thing since retired? Like the thing that you didn't think would be
there's
important,
a
that's important
there's
now.
a whole world outside of education. And even though you know that, like you get so consumed you forget, right? And then you find yourself in your hands in probably a few too many pots.
Ah.
Yeah.
So what has that been like? Have you been cutting back, or have you been
Yeah, so that's been like turning down some. You want to help everybody, right? So you say, I help you, out. And it's like, hey,
changing?
it's like it's too much. It's like what I found out was that work took a lot of time, but when people find out you have free time,
Oh yes, 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 yes.
it's a lot of people who.
I've heard that. There's a quote that says, "If you're always available for everyone,
You're available.
eventually you'll have nothing for anyone."
That's right.
So when they call you and say, "Hey, well, how you looking on Monday?"
I just
You better say, "Hey, I'm gonna be busy, but what you need before
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
So when it comes to family and balance, how have the family been since the Dr. Shaw that they see today versus, let's say, a year ago this time? You're getting ready to go into the school year. It's summertime. You're probably doing conferences. What do they see now that they didn't see a year ago? Your family.
I
You still run? No, I'm just kidding.
I am like I'm still busy, but I think it's probably a. Well, here's an example. So they've been learning how to drive.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know the superintendent Jimmy Shaw
Could have had.
could handle this. I'm being honest with you, right? But like with some time to breathe and not be on edge all the time.
Gotcha.
It's been a couple of moments they'll tell you, but for the most part, it's okay.
So if I brought them up here, what would they say? If I say, "Hey, what's changed
I don't know.
about your dad since he retired?"
I don't know what they would tell you. I'm more at peace. I don't know what they would tell
You're
you.
more at peace. So as far as time wise, like picking them up from school or anything like that.
The best thing I did when I retired was take them to school in the mornings because I had never experienced being with them, like just be with them, right? So we going to school in the morning and like we just talking and chopping it up and like that was probably been the best thing that I've seen since I've retired. It's just being able to spend 10 minutes. Like I didn't have 10 minutes. So to be able to spend that 10 minutes with them every morning, most mornings, anyway, like, oh man,
That's
it's been beautiful.
So in other words, you have no regrets about Did you ever think about it?
I do.
You do. Okay.
I do. Like
So
that.
is
That.
there any part of it that you miss?
Yeah, I
We're
miss.
gonna get into the book. But
I miss folks. I miss relationships. I miss impacting people. Like I miss folks. I pastor church, so I got folks there too. But you miss that every day you in that mix of kind of like cutting grass. Every day you knew almost every day you knew you helped somebody.
You knew that.
Yeah, I miss that. So now I'm trying to shift that focus to, am I a better husband, father, pastor? Yeah. And so it's starting from scratch on some level in that you left the system, structures, and processes that you used to living in to now you're recreating
So you say system structures, process.
processes.
So let's transition to the book since you
Okay.
mentioned that. Tell us about it. Like how did you come up with the name? And you're talking about systems, I'm assuming, processes. Why should somebody purchase this book, and who should it?
It's a problem solving book. Like it's a problem solving book. So it was born out of trial and errors, and leadership in school, right? But it's a problem. It's a system and a structure to solve problems. And for the most part, I have found people who are not successful is because they don't have systems. When I'm not successful, it's because I don't have structures or systems. Period. And so if you don't, so we're reading a book right now. I'll tell you about it earlier. Like John Mark Comer, Practicing the Way. I'm sure Ray probably read it, right? So one thing he talks about is these 9 practices that you have. But the point is like for prayer, reading the Bible, do you have a structure? Do you have a time that you do this? Like a consistent place that you do this, like, right? Like you don't always get a chance to do it, but
So a pattern.
a pattern, a time, a resource, right? And so like boys probably get mad at me. One thing to find about them was when I first retired, they didn't have a homework structure after school, which drove me nuts. Right, but I ain't been home in X amount of years, so like, shut your mouth.
Did you go to your wife and say they don't have a structure, or were you like? Because think about it, she been dealing with this the whole time.
I didn't handle it very well. I said, "What we doing?" Like, I just couldn't believe. I couldn't. Anyway, you don't know what you don't know. So I watched it for a few days. I thought, okay. Then I felt like, hey, like this is what we do. That we don't come home every day. We don't have a time and a place. And so each kid kind of had their own rhythm. Which yeah. So we started doing the merit-based system. You can have your own system as long as you make the grade. You don't make the grade, you don't get to use your system. Right. Because you're gonna fail without it.
So did you end up giving them a system?
We worked on it. They good. I mean, they good anyway, But like, we worked on it.
We
worked on it. Yeah. I'm trying not to overpower them.
Gotcha.
Either, right? Like my wife's been doing this and holding it down. So you don't want to come in and just like blow everything up. But there were certain things I was just like, nah, this is not gonna work.
Yeah, that's funny. It's almost like I remember when I was a kid, when my dad left, Saturday mornings were different. Because, Saturday morning when he was you're going to cook, you're going to cut the grass, you're going to do all that. He was gone, man, we wake up when we want to wake up, back to the structure and the system. Have you had a deeper appreciation for your wife and what she does?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you have to say, hey, babe, I'm sorry, I thought that?
No, I ain't that smart. I'm not that smart. I hadn't quite apologized that way, but I have realized how daunting it has been to be a semi-single. I was there, right? I wasn't there, but like for those what I call those main hours, like so she called me sometime because somebody lose their mind, and I'd be like, I gotta leave work to come handle this. Okay, if I gotta leave work, come handle it, it's gonna get handled. Right. But I understand like when I get it, cause they're we all been 14, 15, emotions here, girlfriend, this, so.
So let me ask you this: you made a statement in the book, and I make sure I got it right. You said you talked about a discipleship level. We want discipleship level results with drive-through level training. Mm-hmm. What did you mean by that when you said that, as it pertains to a university and a system?
It doesn't matter if it's school or church or home or team. Like people have an appetite for greatness, right? But when it comes to what you're gonna put in to get that greatness, we don't always want that, right? So we want the results of being a disciple. We want the results of being a grinder, but we want the convenience of drive-through. I gotta come extra night for this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Yeah, like it like that's the price.
Wow.
That's the price.
So when you think of that in context of the book, you're talking to a young superintendent who just picked up the book, or a young principal, or a young leader. what do you want them to get out of it?
Problems not gonna solve themselves. Like if you're sitting around waiting on it to fix itself, sometimes it does, right? But that's a rarity of the type of problem that's gonna fix itself. But if you're consistently showing up and you want to have the kind of impact you want to have on people, and you are watching things that are not working, they're not gonna work unless you put something in place to kind of help them work, right? And so for a young superintendent, everybody loves you until you say no. As a young principal, everybody's going to love you until you give some feedback about something, right? So how do you make that the culture and the norm? Like you get feedback and you give feedback, and that's just the culture of the norm, but it's centered around a problem or an issue or a goal that we're trying to get and not a person. I don't have anything against you personally, but we're not doing what we need to do for X. So we need to put something in place to do that.
So what would you say is more important, feedback or advice? Because I heard people say something like feedback is just telling them what they didn't do. Advice is telling them what they should do.
Nah, I don't.
Should you do both together?
I don't see it that way. I think feedback is, so there's enough people in here that might remember Dragnet, right? And Joe Friday.
Okay, yeah.
Like people can give you advice and won't give you the facts.
Explain that. What do you mean? By that?
So some people will give you advice. I had a kid. He was a student deshler, and he committed suicide a few years ago. But I was coaching wrestling, and he did something, and I got him in the car, and I went off on him. And he said, "I guess you telling me that this is what you would do to your own child." I said, "No, you my child. I done it out there at the wrestling mat. Because you're not mine. I got you in the car, right? But my point is, it's not about going off on folks, but like truth. Truth is one of the rarest gifts people give you. Like the people who love you will give you advice and some truth.
But they won't give you that.
Yeah, some people who don't like you will give you truth, but not the advice to go with it. I think feedback is the combination of both. But feedback is centered on a thing, not centered on you.
So it's whatever they did.
Yeah. We have a common goal or common purpose. What are we doing?
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. And if we agree upon that, then let's talk about where we are and what we're doing.
So when we say university, what do that mean?
That's just a learning culture, right? Like taxpayers construct schools to educate children, all right?
Okay.
But if the people inside the building are not learners, then the children won't get what they need either. If the custodian's not a learner about floor care, or if the maintenance crew is not a learner about hydraulics and HVAC systems, if teachers are not learners about pedagogy or curriculum, if the leaders are not learners about that. So if you don't have a learning culture, a learning university, it's kind of like a learning hospital. If you don't have a UAB or a teaching style culture, then it's gonna go bad because talent will run out.
Talent will run out. And you got to have a system going back.
And you got to have a system that you're trying to train or pour into the next group. The next group don't have to do it like you, but you want to be able to provide them with, this is what we did, this is why we did it, this is how it worked for us, and here are all the pieces to go with it.
So let me ask you this. When you think about the term that you were the superintendent, how many years?
Almost 9 years.
9 years. If you could take back one or two things, if you could say, hey, knowing what I know now, this is what I would have done differently, what would they be?
When you know something's not gonna work, just cut it.
Just cut it.
Yeah. Like we spent a long time, like
Hoping that
I'm a coach, so my arrogance will tell me I can coach somebody out of this. Like if you give me enough time, and sometimes, man, like you got a child's life at stake, right?
they only got a window.
They only have a window, right? So like if you have a medical illness, the doctor can give you a window of time on how severe it is and how long it may take you to this kid, right? When you got a kid in school though, like it's either slow poisoning or slow growing, right? So you in school, the third grader who is gonna get retained if he can't pass ACAP does not have time for me to
Right.
right.
and the person who's in the room who's supposed
So
to
the
already
teacher,
know
so
that.
right, so that means I've got to grow the principal to grow the coach to grow the teacher to grow the kid.
So let me ask you this: the farther away you got from the kids, did that affect you at all, or did you see yourself making a greater impact?
It was a
when
job.
you impacted the principal, who affected the teacher, who affected.
From a carnal standpoint, the closer I was to kids, the better I felt about it because that was my impact. But that at some point in time, I realized it was not my call. My call was to grow the people who run the school, who teach the class, to grow the kid. And so that means that you don't have the pull or the power that you think you do. You have the ability to set conditions. But you rare like if you are the one doing it, it's 9 campuses. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail some kids because you can't. But it was hard for me to keep my hand out of it.
Yeah, you're still trying to.
Yeah.
So how does that translate in the ministry?
Same.
Having that mindset that you impacting the
It's the
ones that's gonna
same.
make the impact, but do you take the same approach?
It's the same. The difference I'll say in ministry and school is though, school has a built-in system, structure, and process expectation. Churches don't always have that, right? So everybody who works in a school that's an educator did some sort of coursework with some sort of expectation, right?
Gotcha.
People who go to church, the structure is the Bible for the most part, right? And they're at all differing levels, and it's a volunteer
Right. They
group.
didn't. Right.
So like, it's not like, hey, didn't go well.
gotta
I'm gonna
let you
cut
go.
you. You who you cutting?
Hey, you can't-
Who
come back.
you fired from the pew? Like you can fire somebody from ministry, but they gonna be sitting right there in the pew. So
Oh,
you know,
that's tough.
so like sometimes I mean, so like, so what you go,
So what would you say the greatest challenge is for a leader and leadership as it pertains to education and as it pertains to ministry? Start with education.
The greatest challenge
for a leader to lead leaders, what is the greatest challenge
in education.
in education?
So education, in my opinion, in public ed is kind of set up on some bad foundation. In that, I think everybody believes they know school because they went to school. Okay. Nah, if you played high school basketball, you feel like
You understand your culture. You tell the
right,
coach you need to-
right, and so on
I've
some,
been that guy too.
yeah, and so I have too, right, and so on some level, in the school level, when it comes to educational leadership, is it can I keep the people I've trained around enough to pour into them long enough, and hope they don't get run off by the outside beatings, right, like it's not a good time to be an educator. Like, take a beating, right?
Yeah, I just saw where one school system needed almost 200 teachers.
Right. So
One
you're
system.
so you're asking, you're asking somebody to hang around and basically behave like they've been called to a ministry of teaching. Right? And so you pray they stay. You pray they stay.
So you gotta, like you said something. You said a lot. You said call, not just a career choice. As
Yeah.
teaching.
Yeah.
So would you say that teaching is a call?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you are dealing with somebody's life, that's a calling. Like that every time. I don't. What's the nurse who broke all the bones of the kid? She broke them. I don't need somebody to hit a 9 to, well, that's not true. I'll take somebody to hit the 9 to 5 clock. But I'm gonna ask so much of you that you're gonna get mad eventually, because I feel like that I got 3 kids in the system. That's
you wanna make sure they get.
right. But even before that, like I grew up here, you grew up here.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to look somebody in the face and say, yeah, I know your kid had a horrible experience there, but that's all right.
He'll be okay. That was.
It's hard when I know they had a bad experience, and I couldn't fix it.
Wow. So have you ever taken on that? And
Oh
said,
yeah.
I should have got that teacher. out
Oh,
there.
absolutely, absolutely.
And how do you deal with that?
It's some bullets you just going to have to bleed. Some things you have in teaching because of the way it's structured. Man, sometimes sometimes people can do something not well enough to be of help, but not bad enough to be removed.
Ooh, say that again.
And
I
so
got some people like that now.
and
I got some.
so what happens
Not
is
well enough.
yeah. So if it's your kid, right?
Right.
If it's your kid, you're livid.
Gotcha.
But if it's not your kid, and it's not really, I don't want to make this about knocking teachers or anything because it's that at every level. As a
Right, right.
superintendent,
And it may not be
I
teachers
had
in
to look and
general.
say, hey, do I really want to fight this? Well, like, hey, cuz, like, you okay with the consequences as long as they impact your kid? Well, yeah, right. So that's your answer. It's like, now I
See,
gotta
when you
fight
think about your
this.
own kids,
Now I gotta fight this,
now you
right?
gotta fight this.
Or if this my boy, like I grew up with my boy and his kids, like,
So when they come to the board of education, they come to the superintendent. I need to talk to the superintendent right now.
Yeah.
This is what happened, and da 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 da. And you trying to weigh out what the school did versus what what's policy and procedures and all of this. Have you ever been like just threw your hands up and say, you know what, we, you know that we're in the wrong as a system, or
I have
we're in the
before.
right, but we can't fight it because public
No,
opinion says.
I've been wrong before, and that's okay. But also, what I'll tell you is that what's hard is when people want you to not follow policy, and you kind of agree with them, but that's the policy.
That's the policy. All right, so we're gonna take some questions from the audience. I still want you to test that leadership in the church, man. The biggest
Oh, okay.
challenge, the greatest challenge of leadership in the church. Because there's a young minister or a young pastor that's watching that's saying, now he was a superintendent and he's a pastor, but now he's just a pastor, but he's still leading people. You know, the difference between someone who's preaching and someone who's pastoring and leading.
So I heard a dude tell me one time. He said, how'd he put it? He said, preaching is more valuable than pastoring, but he said worship is more important than both of them. Meaning, like, on some level, forget you pastor for a minute, you have to have your heart in a worship position, but then also, like, you're not a hireling. Like, you your job is to protect the flock. And so without those built-in system structures and processes, like, so you have some, right, in the church, you have some system structure processes, then others you don't. And so you can't run it like a school, but excellence is excellence is excellence. And so you know that when you're taking care of folks, like, you still have to take care of folks. You have to work through it with a volunteer staff.
I'm gonna ask you something.
I don't mind not answering.
Because a lot of people see you today, retired superintendent, but they have no clue that there was a time when you was pushing the broom in the same school system.
I knew you were gonna do that.
One day became a superintendent. Could you just share a little bit of that story?
So here's the story. So the story was,
Because how you went back to school and then just share that.
I'll share a medium story. So medium-sized story is, I wanted to work at GM because my dad worked at GM and he worked at Ford. I had an uncle that worked at Reynolds. I had an uncle that worked at Dunlop Tire. And so none of them would help me get a job until after I got my degree. Okay? So I finally get to the place where I get my degree. I got to do my student teaching. That's a whole nother story. But I ended up getting laid off at TJ's right as my student teaching was getting ready to start because of NAFTA. So I work at a shoe store and trying to make some money. I'm volunteer coach at the time for Gary Horton and Bradshaw, and Carbine Construction is doing some work at Bradshaw. And I tell Coach Horton, hey, you got any extra money, like anything I can do with extra money? And he said, yeah, we need a contract custodian, for the carbine crew at the school. So I spent about 2-3 months going through a temp service, and so I was a custodian at the school.
So you sweeping and
Yeah,
cleaning and mopping and
yeah, yeah,
waxing floors.
yeah, yeah. I didn't wax floors. They didn't trust me to wax floors. I was the garbage guy, the sweep mop guy. You can't do no equipment. Like,
So you
nah,
do that,
I
and
do that.
then school starts, right?
Yeah, I do that in school. Sorry.
So what happened then? How are the people looking at you? Because some just thinking you a custodian. I'm just assuming this.
So yeah, so I'll say this to anybody who's listening: like, be careful how you treat people, right? Like some people treated me like I was not much, and so the day we have anybody work in school system, no, you have Institute Day. So we have Institute Day, first day of school, and I'm there in khakis or slacks and a shirt and
New
a
teacher,
and a
excited.
tie, new teacher. And one of the people at school said, "Man, you sure is dressed up today to be cleaning?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, yes, ma'am. I work here." "We know you work here like you're a custodian." I said, "Yeah." I didn't say nothing. So they bring you in the library and introduce all the folks, and they still asking me, "Why are you in here with us?" So they introduced me as a teacher, and for some people who had said some really choice things to me, it was interesting to watch. Right, like it was, but I say that to say, like, people are people.
Right, right, right.
People are people. So, like, everybody's valuable.
I think I'm sitting here. I mean, I see another book, man, from the custodian to the superintendent. Hey, you know what I mean? Had you with the broom and on the cover. But this is my last question. Um, you met your wife. Where did you meet your wife?
I met my wife at Big Star grocery store down on Northwood
Northwood.
and Fairground Road.
And what was that like? This
I didn't like her. She didn't like me. I don't care.
yeah, not at all, huh?
Not at all. Not at all. Like, and she's sitting back there like, what my fault? I didn't, she didn't like me for whatever. Like, I'm not getting all that, but like, she had a reason, but like, she didn't like me. Yeah. Yeah.
So what was the moment when, like,
Don't do this,
it
Pete.
made
So the moment
everybody see
was,
Dr. Shaw,
the,
the
mo- the, mo-
educator
the,
and all of that.
the moment was one day I'm bagging groceries and a lady says, don't crush my bread. I got you, yes, ma'am. I put her eggs in a bag and put her bread on top of her eggs. My wife physically slapped my hand. I lost it.
Are you serious?
Oh, I went nuts. Like, right? You already don't like me. You already talking stuff about me. Now you put your hands on me. So I got suspended from work for. I got suspended from work for losing it on her, and all I could say was, so she can degrade me and hit me, and I get suspended. Got it. No problem. So when I got back to work, we weren't supposed to be on the same shift, and I don't know,
Oh,
something
is
happened.
that serious? Y'all can't even be on the same shit. Hey, this is the other book. This is the third book.
Yeah. So anyway, so we ended up on the same shift some kind of way, and one thing led to another, and we got into a competitive argument, and part of the competitive argument was a date, and it was handy fest, and that was it.
Wow.
Ever since.
Come on, we got to give it up for that right there. I got to get her to come and tell her side. So do we have any questions in the audience? Because you talked about the book. It's a problem-solving book. You got people who are getting it. I'm going to let you get some final words to just, the person who's thinking about it. Maybe they're watching online and they can order it and just what they'll get out of it. And you're going to sign some books. We're going to kiss some babies and take some pictures. But are there any questions from the audience anyone have?
Yeah.
I have a question. I ego can empower a learning system, but how can ego also be destructive to a learning system?
So there's a term called efficacy, self-efficacy and collective efficacy. You have to have a bit of confidence or swagger that you personally can do a thing or that you as a group can do a thing. So I've seen people who did think they could move a kid, for instance, but as a part of a team, that team had this collective efficacy, this collective ego that they could. Sometimes that gets in the way though when ego won't let you listen or ego won't let you change, or if you're like me, sometimes ego tells you, "You want to help me? Oh, I got it. I do it myself," and it kill you. So, yeah.
Any other questions? Could you share a little bit about the subtitle?
Turning means of the movements.
Yes. What does that mean?
It means that we all been a part of organizations who meet to meet to meet to meet, and we met. Like you have to take those few moments you have with people and make them real life, actionable things. Like we're not meeting to check a box. Like we're meeting to pour into you. All right. So you decide what the problem is, and we're gonna take 2 hours and pour into you. We're gonna pour into you and give you like boots on the ground live stuff. And so once you make it about helping people get better, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It's several schools that was good, but like some of this starts with weed in elementary. So like this the whole little triangle thing.
Gotcha. So
Me,
you put it in
yeah,
place.
me and Daphne Hogan are going at it like bad. I love Daphne though, so we good. And so we arguing and you draw it for me. And so I start drawing this stuff and what it looks like, and that was it.
Actually, you were solving a problem for her, well, that school,
Yes.
and normally that's how it goes.
That's
You're
how,
solving
yeah.
a problem, and
Yeah.
even when you think of Florence City schools, and you think about the challenges and the rewards, if you could name one or two things that made you just say, you know what, it's time. Because I hear a lot of people say I'm thinking about retiring. I may retire in a year, maybe 6 months. You do a contract for multiple years, and then all of a sudden you come back and you're like, hey, the end of the year, I'm out. Like what was?
So I'll say this about the contract. So I didn't necessarily want to sign another contract, but I felt so bad for the people I was leaving hanging that I
People
signed.
you had brought on.
Yeah. And so at some point in time, somebody said to me, "Hey, you got folks at home you leaving hanging. You got a church you leaving hanging, and you get to a point where if I'm not going to be impactful, do I need to continue to do this? And then the other part about it is hey, like you've been doing this for 9 years, like you have beat the odds.
Yeah, because most
It's
superintendents,
it
what,
yeah it
4 to
like
5
yeah.
years?
People get tired of hearing like stuff after a while. It's 9 years of hearing the same old thing. It's okay, man. It's okay to walk away and get somebody else a shot.
I got it. All right.
Just want to ask real quick, how do you handle the pressure? How did you handle the pressure, knowing that in certain positions, when things are going well, the school is celebrated. It's a great school. But when things go bad, the first person on the news or on the newspaper would be your face. How did you handle that pressure as a leader?
Simon Sinek wrote this book one time, and he talks about the big piece of meat. So the leader gets the big piece of meat for a reason, because they expect you to go fight when they go bad. It's a job. It's just a job. So like when things go bad, you are gonna get the bullets. Like that's part of the gig. Like you can't. I felt like it was part of my job too. Like I said with my board members back there. I used to, it ain't not y'all's job to take those bullets. It's my job to take those bullets. That's what I get paid to do. Like I get paid to be that person. So, it's part of your job.
Gotcha. All right. Any advice for the new superintendent of the school district that you could give them? You've already out now. I'm sure
Yeah.
they got their own system and plan in place, but
No, I really like. I think I think Bill Hopkins took my place. He's a veteran superintendent. I'm sure, you know, he has his way of wanting to do things, and I just want him to get out of the way. You know, just want to get out of the way.
And man, thank you.
Thank you.
Right.